Yeah, you know what? Let's do something a little different. Let's do Amanda Bynes. I keep seeing the TikToks about how she's going to make a new podcast or something. I guess she did. There's a video from Sloan exposing Amanda Bynes' bizarre podcast with a dog killer. I don't know what that means. What is... I've been curious. I'm curious. It's a Sloan video. I'm curious. Let's go.
Listen, we need to get this out there. The guy that Amanda has made this podcast with is not a scientist. He's a sociopath. One day...
I mean, I'm not surprised. What the that's her. Oh, I thought this was a higher chance to me of her being her than this. Wow. She certainly matured. You know what I mean? God bless.
We moved in together. I went out of town, and he sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a blood moon, and left the moment that I...
Sorry, he did what?
And he sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a blood moon.
Oh, to a blood moon. So, like, did he actually do a ritual? What was he trying to summon?
And left the moment that I got into the security footage because he knew there was videos of him.
He's been on disability for over 4 years for being a danger to society. He only gets that because of his what?
Doing it on there.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Amanda Bynes and Paul Semensky, the podcast.
Okay.
Amanda Bynes just signed up to do a podcast with a man who has been lying about his career, claiming he's a scientist. He also...
Okay, it's a typical conservative, am I right?
practices Satanism. And now I don't...
Based? I don't know. Is this real or is this just some random person on TikTok?
Judge any religious beliefs. But this guy...
I judge all of them. I've had people come crying profusely in my comments every time I'll make like a joke or something. I'll talk about Christianity. Because they go, why are you always bullying us? How come you never talk about Islam? I do sometimes, but here's the crazy thing. I don't know if you guys know this. This is actually a very well hidden fact. America is a predominantly Christian nation. So check this out. I'm American. So when there's a bad religious person doing a thing, it's always in America rather. It's usually a Christian person. That's why I criticize it. I'm not really hearing any conservative Muslims go, ban gay marriage. I'm sure they would say that. They would say that. I think that all very orthodox religions, I think that art can be very oppressive to like gay, trans people, women, the works. But we got mostly Christians. So what do you want me to do? Like make a special every time I say something, I criticize the Christian religion? You want me to say, oh yeah, by the way, Islam is also, that religion is all just as bad. Like, what do you need me to do? You need me to hold your hand through the walking conversation about how, like, you shouldn't be oppressive to gay people? And it's so funny, the last video, all I said that triggered people was that the Bible is not a source of objective morality because we've made it clear that the Bible is God's word based on what he thinks a society can handle, not his actual true word. And then I think that the Bible in and of its existence in general is a test from God. Because there's over 3,000, or not over, but there's about 3,000 versions and translations of it. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. That's all I said. You guys are melting down. Why don't you like Christians so much? I don't know. Maybe they should just stop being so fucking rude. No hate like Christian love. My family's pretty religious, and they're beautiful, though. They are good people. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, that was a tangent. Also, you know, Satanism, kind of weird. Especially if you're killing dogs. If you're killing them to eat them, I get it. Practical. Killing them for Satan, what are you trying to do? Why would you want to summon that guy?
Paul went as far as to sacrifice his roommate's dog.
Dog's right there.
All because it was a blood moon. Amanda's friend...
I would have sacrificed that ugly-ass dog, too. It was a rat.
...is a danger to society and a...
You have the discrepancy with my age of consent argument? What's the discrepancy? Here's the people that... This is a problem that people have, because I looked into it after when I got criticism. I keep saying that, like, the age of consent according to the Bible... We're going on a fucking tangent, sorry. Is when a girl gets her period, which is like true. You're allowed to get married. But apparently the age of consent is actually like 20 according to some aspects of the Bible. That would completely trump my argument because you're not an adult till you're 20. How progressive? Well, that just means that what? 19-year-olds can marry 13-year-olds? Incredible stuff. Listen, there's no discrepancy in my argument. I don't know what you want me to tell you. They say that a little girl can get married when she starts puberty. That's said in the Bible. That's terrible. I don't think God wants that. Objective morality. He was probably like, people are dying at like 20. You could let the 12-year-olds marry. But now they're living to 80. So wait until they're 20. You know? There you go.
Danger to her well-being. So let's get into it.
It's a whole rant in this video. What am I doing? I gotta stop getting stun locked.
Honestly, this is not the Amanda Bynes update that I was expecting. I mean, I don't really know what I was anticipating, but
nothing. That's what
not
I
a
was anticipating.
podcast with a man who killed his
Not a podcast with a man. Duh.
former friend and roommate's dog. This story is so bizarre. I had to like process it for a little bit because I cannot understand.
Oh, that's an interesting argument. The discrepancy is girls didn't get their period until they were almost 17 due to nutrition. I don't think I believe you, but it's an interesting argument. I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep that in mind. But I don't think that that's always true. I feel like that's a little bit of a cope.
Understand why someone, I mean, there is no reason why someone would go and kill an innocent animal like this monster
Well, how do we know this is a fact?
would. And now Amanda is appearing back on social media again, and next to this creep. I mean, I don't think she's in a good place if she's hanging around people like this. Keep in mind, Amanda wasn't doing well earlier this year. Back in March, we saw her out and about in Hollywood.
What's your source for that? I don't think that that's like true.
Completely nude and having a psychiatric break, which she did go and get help for, which I totally respect. Like, if you are not doing well, go and get the help you need. Amanda remained in the mental health facility for 3 weeks before being released, but she then was detained by cops and placed back on psychiatric hold in June after being deemed a danger to herself and those around her. When she was 5150'd by police back in June, her team...
It's so interesting because we're just seeing every single day the negative impacts of child stars. Like, you get so addicted to all the fame and the hype, and then you pretty much get to a point where you are not necessarily super popular anymore, and you just kind of spiral out of control. This video is 6 days old. You just kind of spiral out of control, man. It's an ugly addiction.
Told the media that she was going to be in there for a while, that they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think that you can make the argument that they got their period at 17. There's nothing that recorded of that. The problem is that like menstruation historically has been a very taboo topic for religion, and so it's not recorded when girls would get their period. So you might be right, but that's also a speculation with no factual evidence to it. It's an interesting conversation, but I don't think it's interesting. But I don't think that you could say that like factually.
Know when she was going to get out. She really needed to focus on her mental health. We have seen some photographs of Amanda here and there, but we haven't really seen much until this latest podcast. And I want to make something very clear because I was a little bit confused at first. So you guys know she had a terrible relationship with a guy named Paul.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. She's kind of fucked and up. I imagine that she's hard to be with, and she probably picks toxic men. It's unfortunate, man. You know, broken people, they seek out broken people, man. So, well,
this man like proposed to her, supposedly got her pregnant, and then she maybe was forced to get rid of her baby. There's a lot of questions we have.
Is this like a fact, or are you just speculating? This is a lot
around that situation. Paul wasn't a great guy for her at the end of the day. I mean, they
beautiful picture
met when they were in like a sober living, like halfway house situation. So they both.
Oh yeah, that's a really bad. I mean, that's tough. Both of them are addicts, and they both met in like an addiction home. I feel like that's not good because those two people being together, I feel like they're gonna probably have a higher chance of relapsing. No, isn't there like kind of data on that?
We're kind of going through it, and they both like,
she broke up with him for watching stepmom porn. Is that real? What the fuck?
I guess pulled each other's strings and made each other worse. Well, this guy on her podcast who is the dog killer that we're focusing on today, his name is Paul as well. So
I made the mistake of looking up Amanda Bynes' stepmom porn, and the links are not appropriate.
I'll make it very clear if we're speaking about her former fiance or if we're speaking about dog killer Paul. Now, the podcast...
Why do we think he's a dog killer? What's the objective proof?
That Amanda Bynes is doing, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I guess she's interviewing people. We're not really hearing much about herself and what she's gone through and what's going on in life. She just like kind of like sits there with her phone, which I'm proud of her for doing.
Apparently they already stopped the podcast.
And trying to get back on the scene, but it is just a little bit awkward to watch. I tried to watch it. I did watch.
She tried to get Jack Harlow, Drake, and Post Malone on the show. I don't even know who the fuck Jack Harlow is. Why would you go for such like A-tier people instantaneously? Like you'd have to start slow.
some of it, but she was like just holding her phone, just kind of like awkwardly asking questions, and she didn't really
it seems like she's taking a pause because she's not getting the guests she wants. Although I would imagine it has more to do with this guy's controversy. This is weird.
herself. Well, Paul, her right-hand man, he was kind of like running the show. Amanda Bynes is back in the spotlight after years of being away because she's got a new podcast out, and the first episode features her playing the role of a host/interviewer. The ex-child star was placed in conservatorship for years before it came to an end in 2022.
I wonder if it's the conservatorships were necessary or if they were a money grab from the parents. Because now that I see, listen, I'm not trying to be rude, but now I see Britney Spears more and more, and I think, is there a reason she was in the like, was it kind of justifiable? I don't know. Interesting, though. Maybe she was killed and replaced. I don't know.
This is a new media venture for Amanda alongside her friend named Paul Simoninski. Now, I did know this podcast was coming because back in November, Amanda started posting on social media again and teasing that she was going to be having this show with her friend who is a scientist. Allegedly. We'll get to that part too. He's not only a dog killer, but also lying about his education.
A dog killer. What's the fact? What's the proof of that?
Me and Paul Simoninski are working on a podcast.
Although I could see Amanda Bynes being the kind of person. Let me start again. I can't speak today. I could see Amanda Bynes being the kind of person who could get like manipulated by some kind of a crazy Satanist dog killer. Or AKA a guru, by the way. Same difference. Same fucking thing. Because it seems like these gurus will kind of get in and they'll throw a bunch of promises to fill the hole, the void in the lives of celebrities, really. Anybody's life, really. But they get more intimate with celebrities because they can attach themselves and they can kind of suck on them like a parasite. So I could believe it. Oh, you know, I have a PhD in what? Alternative medicine? In alternative medicine. Like, okay.
It's super impressive that Paul is going to be a part of it because he's a scientist and a biochemist. So having his beautiful mind being a part of this.
I looked at his phone. He was looking at mom and son porn. Amanda claimed he vandalized his mom's house. He broke all of her pictures and put salmon under her bed. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Podcast is just going to bring it to another level, I think, because
incredible.
He's going to ask great questions, and I think he'll kind of carry most of the weight in terms of topics of conversation. Like whenever he and I talk on the phone or I see him in person, he's always just so interesting, and I cannot wait for him to co-host the podcast with me.
I don't know, dude. This is giving me fucking guru vibes. Oh, he's gonna pretty much run the entire show. I'm just showing up. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Amanda is either doesn't want to do any work on this or is completely fucking brain rotted, fried.
Me.
A lot of people had criticism about Amanda's appearance. I'm not really going to comment there. I mean, she's gone through so much. Let her live. I'm glad she's just free and okay and not out on the
She's got that non-binary fit, you know? I respect it. I respect it.
Streets running around having a psychotic break. So, I mean, her appearance is the last of my work.
Why was Amanda snooping on his phone? My question is, why didn't he look at it in incognito mode, dude? Okay, what are you doing?
And if you guys are wondering, where can I go and see this podcast? It's actually on Spotify. And in her first episode...
That's it? It's not on YouTube? That seems a little silly. Why wouldn't you want to use that? Wouldn't you want to use everything? YouTube has a pretty robust podcast thing.
She and Paul
Did she get an exclusive? I don't know. What?
Interviewed a tattoo artist named Dahlia Moth, who met the hairspray.
I could have swore this was like that Sophie Turner girl. I thought this was the Game of Thrones person. I thought this was Sansa Stark. I swear to God.
Actor at a Spirit Halloween store a few years prior. Let's take a quick look at what her podcast is about, and then we'll get into her co-host.
She could have easily dipped into the TikTok market if she was stable enough. She probably could have got like your Brittany Broskis on there. The people that really liked her a lot, like it's crazy. People who really liked her from when she was growing up, that had like a lot of nostalgia. She could have gotten those people onto her podcast, probably. I don't know why she's trying to shoot for the moon right off the bat. You know, aim for the stars. Shoot for the moon. What is that? What it's called? Where you shoot for the stars and you land on the moon or something. You know what I mean? Brittany Broski's the moon. I think she's not bad. That wasn't like a joke.
Passed because this man is problematic.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Amanda Bynes and Paul Semensky, the podcast. Today we are welcoming
Okay. It's just so weird.
Dahlia Moth
They'd like replace each other's energy. Okay.
on our show.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. She's probably terrified, dude. I don't know. This is giving me weird vibes. You know, I'm usually very adamant about proof, which we still need that he's a dog killer. But also, I'm kind of, you know, I'm an empath. Some people say I'm a fucking empath. I could feel it.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I am Paul.
Yeah.
And welcome to our beautiful guest, Dahlia.
Our
Didn't we just welcome her? What the fuck?
beautiful guest, Dahlia. Oh my God.
Come on, Sloan. Stop it. Don't make fun of other people's cadence of voice, okay?
I don't know. I
You could definitely get H3 on there, right?
describe myself as a friendly person, easy to get along with, but I can tell when I see someone, I'm like, I don't think I'll get along with them. That's totally this guy. And also hearing about his past, like I have way too much empathy for animals to be doing some Satan like ritual stuff. I'm lying about your like education. Like people are gonna figure it out. Like, have you not seen the whole George Santos? Like, please.
Yeah, he's a fucking icon. I don't know anything about George Santos, but I know he's a fucking icon because I see him on TikTok and on Zwee's thing. I should probably watch that. It'll be impressive, but I don't know.
Just can tell I would not get, like, I wouldn't be able to talk to him for more than a few seconds because he's just giving me the exact opposite of how I function as a person. And now
What the fuck does that mean?
he's being accused publicly by a former friend and roommate.
He's been on disability for 4 years for being a danger to society. He only gets that because of his father being a very powerful lawyer. Wow, okay.
Of allegedly lying about being a scientist and killing his roommate's dog. Now let's listen to Paul's
to the blood moon.
victim tell their story
Alleged
and give
victim.
us some
Just to be
insight on
clear.
who he is, because there's not a lot of public record. He's not like a celebrity like Amanda Bynes is.
I want to thank everyone who watched the
That does not look like him. I'm just going to be honest with you, but I don't really know.
first episode of the podcast.
Listen, we need to get this out
All
there.
right.
The guy that Amanda has made this podcast with is not a scientist. He's claiming to her that he's a scientist.
Okay.
He is my old roommate. He is a sociopath. He had lied to me, said he was a scientist for like over 7 years.
Okay.
We were
Does she have any proof of that? I mean, listen, I just like to have a bit of proof, okay?
friends. I would be his cat sitter and dog sitter when he would go out of town for over 7 years.
Damn. 7
and then
years?
One day we moved in together.
And you only killed one dog?
He's been on disability for over 4 years for being a danger to society. He only gets that because of his father, who is a very powerful lawyer. Oh my gosh. Maybe his dad will have to talk to my lawyer depending on how he reacts to this.
What the fuck are you talking about? What was that? Okay.
Together, I went out of town.
Okay.
And he sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a blood moon or something.
I mean, let's be honest. Everybody's sitting here like, why would he sacrifice a dog on the blood moon? I'm thinking, why would you go on vacation on a blood moon? You know what I mean? You got to be careful. Your dogs always. You got to have a blood moon tracker. Can't be leaving your dog. When is the blood moon? I know when all the blood moons are. There wasn't one this year, apparently. I knew that. So I've been able, I've been all good. But you shouldn't have went. Oh, wait, hold on. I want to know some blood moon calendar. Blood moon. It's a red moon. How often does this happen? Does everybody have a blood moon at the same time? Does everybody have a blood moon at the same time? I know that's a silly question, but how does the fucking world work? I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. I'm trying to figure out when all the blood moons happened so that I could be like, oh, this is how my research works. When are the past blood moons? Let's see. What day did he go on vacation? Okay, there have been 230. I guess. I don't know. I really don't know how you do this. When did this happen?
Something. And then deleted all the footage and then lied about it for months and months and months and then left like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the moment that I got into the security footage because he knew there was videos of him doing it on there.
Why did it take you so... Wait, this is so weird. Hold on.
Lied about it or something. And then deleted all the footage.
Wait. This doesn't make sense to me.
To talk to my lawyer, depending on...
Sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a blood moon or something.
Or something. You can't or something that.
And then deleted all the footage and then...
Deleted all the footage.
Lied about it for months and months and months, and then left, like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the moment that I got into the security footage because he knew there was videos.
I'm so confused. So he deleted all the security footage, but then months later you found it on the security footage? How long does it stay on the security footage? I'm not saying it didn't happen. All I'm saying is, like, your story doesn't even make sense to me. How long does fucking footage stay? And if he already deleted it, then why are you going to look? And then why would you even look 4 months later? Wouldn't you look immediately? This doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to listen to it one more time.
Like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the months and months. And then deleted all the footage and then lied about it for months and months and months.
So deleted all the footage, lied about it for months. Months and months and months. At least 4 months, right? That's fair. Months and months and months. I mean, it sounds like 3, but months and months is multiple. That'd be at least 6 months. Months and months. You know what I mean? So we got like 3 to 6 months. He lied about it, but deleted the footage.
And then left, like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the moment that I got into the security footage.
But then... The security footage resets automatically every blood moon. That's what I'm saying, dude! The blood moon resets the security footage anyway. This doesn't even make fucking sense to me.
Because he knew there was videos of him doing it on there.
She's hypnotizing me.
This is a dog that...
Oh my god, she fucking reanimated the dog. She reanimated the dog on the fucking lunar cycle. Holy fuck. She was able to revive the dog on the lunar moon. On the half crescent waning moon. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're both fucking wizards. They're both warlocks. They're both worshippers of Satan. This is insane. Oh my god. He deleted the footage on his own phone, but this still doesn't make any sense. He deleted the footage so he was recording it, and then he deleted it? Would he jack off to it? I don't understand. And then all of a sudden, she's like, fucking 6 months later, I decided to check the footage, and then he went outside for a cigarette. But like, why would you fill out the footage there? Wouldn't you want to look at the footage in the first place? Because if you thought your dog died, did he hide it? Did he kill the dog and hide it? And it's like it ran away? But then wouldn't you immediately look at the footage when you get home and then you notice that it wasn't available? And you'd be like, okay, that's a little bit weird and my roommate's a fucking creep. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes any sense to me. There's a little debauchery. There's a little bit of debauchery here.
He bought. He stole my money. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah. He
bought
this dog and literally
Where'd he steal the money from?
left her. Okay.
There's a lot
I'm so fucking confused. None of this makes any sense to me. I still believe he is capable of doing it, but I just don't know what the fuck's happening.
to unpack there, and you can kind of hear the...
I think you have to record your rituals for tax write-offs. That actually makes a lot of sense. It makes sense to do that because the church doesn't have to pay taxes. I imagine then if you buy a Bible, you don't have to pay taxes on the Bible. I don't know if that's true. I made it up, but I'm going to assume it's true. That means if you're doing a satanic ritual, which is a religion, then it would be a tax write-off. So you record yourself killing the dog. You get to write off the knife. You get to write off the candles. You get to write off the lines you draw on the floor. You have to make that nice star on the floor. You probably get to write off like the vacuuming of the clean process. That makes the most sense to me. Okay.
The pain in her voice when she spoke about that dog.
It didn't sound like she had any pain in her voice, to be absolutely honest with you. She just sounded like she was just sitting there chatting.
Being sacrificed. I mean, imagine, like, I love my dog so much. Imagine, like, someone like sacrificing her. Like, for what? For a religion that they, like, I respect everyone's religion.
Not if you don't like dog death.
As long as it doesn't take away from someone else's personal life.
Okay.
And you using religion to justify sacrificing a poor dog is not okay. Like, if you want to go and do your little, like, Satan stuff, go do it alone in your corner. Don't bring other people in. Well, let's talk about the scientist situation, because some people in the comments are going to his LinkedIn
All right. Well, I mean, so far I'm not sold on the dog thing.
profile and calling out the fact that he does have an education in science, but she clarified that he never worked as a scientist. Like, yeah, you got the degree.
All right, so he might have a PhD. Okay. I mean, if his father is a very powerful lawyer, maybe he helped nudge him through the process. I don't know. I'm just going with the conspiracy that is unproven right now.
Honestly, this person's arguing that, yeah, like, if he got the degree, he's a scientist. Personally, in my opinion, like scientist is a very like particular job, and you learn a lot.
If he has a degree, then like what we're doing is we're just virtue sick. Like that's not what we're doing. We're just like we're playing semantics. We're crying over semantics. If he actually does have that, then who cares?
While doing that, like if you have an education in science, then okay, maybe you can.
Has anyone searched to see if there are any papers or articles in biochemistry journals written by this Paul guy? If there isn't a single one, he at least okay. That's a good point. What's his name? Paul Seaman. Paul Saminsky. Author. That's good because I think to become a PhD student, you actually have to publish something. All right, his LinkedIn says that he's a PhD student, but it says a PhD student of UCLA, so it doesn't say he's a PhD student. It says he's okay. Does he have a link to any of the things that he did? Because that would be the next question. Let's see, automatic. What is this? It's just a lot of like LinkedIn profiles and stuff. How would I see the ResearchGate? Paul John Saminsky. Graduated, generally interested in microbiology. Okay. I'm not seeing it. Research assistant, teach biochemistry, laboratory course. Does he actually teach the course? If he does, I mean, I have served as a TA for a number of courses, including biochemistry. Okay, he's a TA. Oh, that's from 2017 to 2018. It says that right now he's actually a research assistant at the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. I mean, let's see, publications. Oh, he does. I mean, dude, it sounds like he's a fucking. It looks like he's a chemist. This is him. This is his like work history. I guess for he's done stuff for a while. And his publications are Iron Accusation of Microbacterium Tuberculosis. He's a co-author on this. It looks like there's 4 authors. Differentiating in the roles of okay. Authored that, authored this. 3, 4, 5. Looks like he has 5. Yeah, listen, I mean, unless this is I don't know, like maybe you would say like, hey, this isn't an accurate source. But if this is an accurate source of information, then like, yeah, he looks like he's actually, he looks legit. He seems to actually, I mean, maybe you want to play semantics and say, well, technically he can't say he's a biochemist or whatever the fuck, scientist. But I mean, he's close enough to it. Yeah, W for the artisan bread. Without scientists, we really would not have delicious food because unironically, science goes into that. Yeah, it seems like he's legit from what I could see. Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Yeah, he looks legit. Wait, why are we hating on this guy? I bet it's transphobic because he's non-binary or something. They? Hot take. I'm trans affirming, dude.
Teach it, but like actually actively practicing, like it's just confusing. Anyways, she's clarifying that like once he graduated UCLA, and that's where she met him, he then went on disability because he is a danger to society.
That's not a reason you put someone on disability. You need to be more specific, and that'll probably be a violation of his boundaries.
Wasn't Amanda locked up in?
By the way, have a degree in psych, and that is the only time they give it, I would guess. What the fuck is he talking about?
June, because she was deemed a danger to society. So 2 dangers to society together doesn't sound great. Honestly,
I don't know. It seems like a lot of this is all pearl clutch. Like I don't know that you can make this like she made her claim.
You guys, this is
that he's a smelly wibbler. But I don't know. Like I don't instantly believe it. It's one person. This is the internet. People are crazy. I wouldn't even doubt if they manufactured this. I don't know.
That sounds like a better podcast name. Right now, it's like the Amanda and Paul like podcast. Like they should just call it like Danger to Society, which I know that's like, I'm not trying to be shady. I just actually kind of like that name. Like maybe I'll need to use that for a future project. But this TikToker says that she did file a police report against Paul, but remember, Paul's father is a lawyer and has been protecting him and forcing her to stay silent. She said,
What if her dog just ran away or something? And she's like, he fucking sacrificed. Maybe she's the crazy one. I don't know. Maybe they're all fucking crazy.
And this all went down back in April 2022, at least when he killed her dog. We
Allegedly killed her dog. You got to speak with a little bit more responsibility.
tried to file charges, but he buried the dog. So
How do you know he buried the dog? We tried to, but he buried the dog. It's the same as murder cases, but we did get enough evidence to charge, and he went.
I guess it's the same as a murder case. Like if you don't have a body, you can't press a charge.
So why would you assume he buried the dog when you assume that he got rid of it? I know it seems like such a small thing to harp on, but it's like, well, he buried the dog. We don't have the body. If that's what they're saying, I can't see because he's covering part of it. But if that is her argument, what he's saying, and he buried the dog, why wouldn't you say he got rid of the dog? I don't know. I'm like investigating this conspiracy theory too much. Her account is now private, so you can't even like take a look at it.
I want to thank everyone who watched the first episode of
But
the
here's
podcast.
Listen,
Perez Hilton just hovering over it.
out there, the guy that Amanda has made this podcast with,
I just want to
is
watch it
not a
myself to
scientist.
see
He's
something.
claiming to her that he's a scientist. He is my old roommate. He is a sociopath. He had lied to me, said he was a scientist for like over 7 years. We were friends. I would be
For 7 years. Is that track based on the information that we got, though? He lied to me about being a scientist for 7 years. Okay, well, if he got his scientist degree, it says that he's been a scientist since... Wait, this doesn't make any sense. He's been lying and saying he's a scientist for 7 years, but he got it at 2019. So that doesn't make any sense. Unless he was lying about the start date of being a scientist, supposedly.
would be his cat sitter and dog sitter when he would go out of town for over 7 years. And then one day
From what to when?
we moved in together. I went out of town and he sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a
7 years is about the duration of a PhD. So did he? But if that's the case, okay. Let's. Do we have to make so much assuming because there's no fucking information? Let's say the 7 years is when he finished his PhD. For 7 years, which means he finished in 2019. They moved in 2019 and he killed the dog in 2019. 20. When was there a blood moon in 2019? So complicated. January 21st. This happened in January? If it happened in January, where do you live? The ground is really hard from the cold. Dude, this is getting fucking weird. I don't know.
blood moon or something.
Or something.
And then deleted all the footage and then lied about it for months and months and months. And then left, like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the moment that I got into the security footage because he knew there was videos of him doing it on there. This is a dog that he bought. He stole my money. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, he bought this dog and literally left her. Okay.
Why wouldn't he sacrifice that dog? I don't know. There's something not adding up. Oh, they live in LA, no cold. Okay, I'm just trying to put pieces together. None of this makes sense.
I'm surprised that he wouldn't tell her where she buried the dog. She can
Hold on. He buried the body.
charge. I'm surprised that he wouldn't tell her where she buried the dog. She continued,
Well, I mean, that would be an assumption, unless he said I buried the dog because it died in a different way.
his father has threatened me and my family, and his father is a very powerful lawyer in Philadelphia.
That might be true. That doesn't necessarily mean that he did it.
Honestly, like, lawyers aren't that powerful. Trust me. Once you get a good one on your side, I'll explain what.
Okay, he came to my house while they were... I'll explain what his father did in a video. He came into my house while my 14-year-old sister was showering and threatened her naked. And she said she... What? I responded in a comment to somebody else, but want you to see you understand. This doesn't make any sense. He came to your house when your sister was in the shower. Well, how did he get in the house? What the fuck is happening? None of this makes sense to me.
Yeah. Honestly, like, lawyers aren't that powerful. Trust me. Once you get a good one on your side,
Lawyers aren't that powerful once you get a good one on your side. Okay.
explain what his father did to me in a video. He came into the house while my 14-year-old sister was showering and threatened her naked and said that
If he was such a powerful lawyer that you're afraid of, why would you make TikToks about this?
The comment cuts off there, but then she goes on saying that he's absolutely insane for doing this, like he wouldn't get caught. And if she needs to go somewhere to vent, she's always welcome to come and do an interview on my channel. She can share her story. And it seems like she has real beef with Paul's father, saying that his father is just as guilty, if not worse, in her eyes.
He did what?
I guess because, like,
What the fuck?
it does seem like his father really did step in to.
I mean, maybe. I mean, that might be true. His father might be like a good lawyer, a powerful lawyer. But that doesn't necessarily mean he killed the dog on a fucking blood moon. I mean, what? You know? I mean, it's more believable if he, like, accidentally killed the dog by letting it out of the house or something, and then he's like, no, and something like that makes maybe a little bit more sense to me. It's so fantasy scenario.
Erase everything, so there was no justice for her puppy. And she's out here dropping their full legal name, so that's a lot. And because she is putting all this information out there, other people are digging, and we found some interesting information in the comments about this family. So it actually turns out that Paul is more than just a lawyer. He's actually used his power as a lawyer to go and work with companies like WordPress and Tumblr. So he has, like, the responsibility of overseeing all of their legal matters, which is
So you found nothing so far?
a big role for companies like that. Now, some people have asked, what's Amanda's thoughts on this?
That's it? You found that he's a good lawyer. Okay. Cool. That's not really anything, but okay.
So he for companies like that.
Okay.
Now, some people have asked, what's Amanda's thoughts on this? And they've been tagging her. But I guess someone saw a comment where, like, Amanda said, like, not to believe someone else's, like, video. But this girl explains that she has had emotional distress. She has, like,
Yeah, you could claim anything.
suffered pain because of this man. I mean, she knew him for 7 years and he lied about being a scientist. Like,
Why are you saying that? From what I've seen, he has actual research papers published, so he seems to be a scientist. So I don't think you could lie. I don't think that it's a lie. That's the problem. Listen, maybe if the information I'm seeing is wrong, then okay. But it seems like this guy has published, co-authored, like most of them, but published 5 research papers. He probably has a PhD. He might be considered a scientist. Okay.
I feel like you could just, I mean, we don't even need to talk about her life and anything. We could just talk about her
And if that is true, and she keeps saying that he's not a scientist, that speaks poorly to her.
interactions with this guy, and it sounds like an entire season of a scary show. Now, this TikTok went viral. It had like 700,000 views. I'm sure it has way more at this point, which good. I'm glad that people are paying attention to it. But Amanda and her team are now deleting comments, trying to ignore it all.
I would too, especially if it's not true.
People are even tagging the girl who was interviewed in
If he was wearing a lab coat, they would have believed he was a scientist. I agree with that.
that podcast, and they're just deleting all the comments from their YouTube video. Oh my gosh, someone even commented me. They want to have her. Look, wait, maybe we reach out to her. It's him. Wait, okay, wait, hold on. So someone said okay, there's a YouTuber named Sloan, does a lot of coverage on these types of situation. Hopefully he sees this. Thank you. I'll reach out to her. Well, it is him, but I would be happy to interview them.
Yeah, where's his beaker? Where's his fucking beaker, dude?
And hear what they have to say, because that is like so traumatizing. Like,
If it's true.
it's not only like a horrific story, but it's also like a big learning situation.
And also might not be trauma. We don't know. That's a very, trauma is a very difficult thing. It's a very intense thing.
Because I don't know, like even the people you thought you could trust, like they're over here doing like what rituals. You have a safe space on my platform. You are more than welcome to do an interview with me if you'd like to.
Stupid.
Hopefully we can make that happen, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments
This
below.
whole thing is fucking brain rot, dude.
I'm disturbed. I'm disappointed in Amanda too. Like, but clearly she's lost, and clearly this guy has been lost for a very long time, and there's not much you could do there. So we're gonna keep up with it, and hopefully there's justice for this pup. That is, and I hate when people use their legal power. It's like, I'll use
Didn't you just talk about how you had a really good lawyer?
all my YouTube power then. But until next time, I'll see you guys in new videos soon. Bye. Bye, guys.
All right, listen, here's the thing. I think it's fun to speculate, and I like conspiracies, but this seems like you're validating this conspiracy theory a little too much. From what I looked into, he seems to actually have a PhD. Remember, like, published 5 papers, even if they're co-authored. So I think he can call himself a scientist. As for her story, I don't know how much of that's true. It's interesting, but like this video feels like it's taking it for fact, and that seems a little silly. It's a little sensationalized. It's a little irresponsible. It's a little dangerous. It's a little brain rot. It's a little silly.